I'm John Smith, the Deputy Policing Crime Commissioner for Avon and Somerset. I'm here in Weston Town Hall today with Sergeant Lee Kerslake. We're going to talk to Lee about his work both previously in his old role with the Neighbourhood policing team here in Weston Town Centre, but also he's recently moved jobs to the Violence Reduction Unit, working with schools and local partners to reduce violence in the town centre. So I'm going to talk to him about that as well. So first of all, Lee, you used to be the Neighbourhood Sergeant for the Neighbourhood team here in the town centre. Can you tell us a little bit about what the town centre team do?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's so we're a Neighbourhood team based at Weston Town Hall. We cover the town centre and the hillside areas, or Ashcombe from a policing point of view, but it goes basically from the sort of Royal Sands all the way up to the top of the hill. We work with partners, with the community, to basically try and tackle any local policing issue that the community want to see addressed. So there's lots of work that goes on with partners around things like street community issues, so street drinking, that sort of work. Mm-hmm. There is sort of drugs work. We try and work with local businesses around shops, and there's a lot of engagement work as well. So we try and inform communities around the sorts of things that the whole, not just our team, but the whole of the policing around Weston. Anything, any big achievements, anything like that, anything that we're doing, we try and make sure we get out into the community.
I know you're very active on social media and Facebook, aren't you, which is great?
Yeah, we try and make sure, and one of the big things for the team is making sure people know what the team's doing, mm-hmm. but also trying to get that feedback. Really important for us that we're concentrating on the right stuff. Mm-hmm. So we get a lot back from the Facebook lives and from the social media work.
That's good. So you mentioned drugs, and drugs is certainly one of the issues, along with antisocial behaviour, probably that we get fed into our office most. Can you say a little bit about what the team are doing around those? Yeah,
of course. Yeah. So it takes up a lot of time, especially with the antisocial behaviour work in the centre at the moment. We have people causing issues in the centre, and the team goes through as best as we can, working with partners, goes through quite a stringent and quite an extensive process of trying to support people away from behaviour that causes people sort of distress in the community. But where that doesn't work, and we have some fantastic partners in people like We Are With You, YMCA, the council, really can try and address most needs that people would have. But where that doesn't work, we also run through our antisocial behaviour powers. We have a large number of cases where we've had to just ban people from the town because of their persistent and often violent behaviour. We also concentrate on properties, so we've had recent closures on around Folkestone Court. You'd see now actually a boarded up property, persistent antisocial behaviour. We have tried to work with the occupants, didn't work, the behaviour continued, so the team worked really hard with again with partners to close the property. Again, we don't want it to get to that stage, but where it's harming the community, that's where we have to go. In terms of drugs, we do everything from work around organised issues, and we do some work, some quite complicated work, but we also have some fantastic proactive teams that work with us to get out there and disrupt drugs, any of the sort of dealing issues that affect the community.
It's been a big challenge, hasn't it? And can you, how have those things changed through the COVID period? Have you seen an impact?
I'd say we still work. We've worked all the way through, and there has been antisocial behaviour issues, and address-based problems have continued. Certainly, I think in the period of COVID we've had 2 premises closures, and so that work has continued. We have seen, obviously, during lockdown, a lot less street-based activity, but that again has started to pick up. And so whilst there's still been work and there's still been issues, I'd say, the nature of it changed to off the street, but there's now returned so that we're now doing a lot of work based around public issues.
Okay, thank you. Let's talk about your new role then. So that's with the Violence Reduction Unit.
Yeah.
That is funded by money that comes via the Police and Crime Commissioner's Office to try and join partners up to try and reduce violence. Can you say a little bit about your work? I know you've only been 3 weeks in the role.
Yeah.
Say a little bit about that and how the team works.
Absolutely, yeah. So again, it's as with a lot of the work we do, it's not just the police. So we're working with the council and lots of other partners working with us to try and address some of the most problematic, complex sort of issues in terms of individuals and young people coming through that we are concerned are likely to, I suppose, head down the wrong path and be affected by serious violence or drugs, weapons. We are doing a lot of schools work, so we've got PCSOs attached to the team that are trying to do work with neighbourhood teams in trying to inform and try and give people the information about sort of the issues and the tough decisions that young people have to make, because there are influences obviously in the community that can send them down the wrong path. So we do a lot of work with that. We have interventions, and there's within the VRU there's funding available to try and look at meaningful interventions and approaches that are going to hopefully not just make a difference on an individual basis, but also we're doing stuff like the intensive engagement project that we're looking at to try and look at communities and how we can generate activity so that the assets and the skills and the people that really want to make a difference in their community to help people or to bring people away from crime have that opportunity to work with us to do whatever it is they do best.
Thank you. I hope you found that helpful to hear about the work that Lee and his colleagues are doing here in the town centre around issues like antisocial behaviour, around drugs and around violence. I certainly have. I've just been at a briefing with the team actually and thanked them on behalf of local people